Get ready. I'm revealing the old and dirty rare quarters that could make you rich. Because the coins you've been ignoring in your pocket change, the old, dirty, scratched Washington quarters, might actually be worth millions of dollars. Some of the rarest error quarters ever discovered have sold for jaw-dropping prices that stunned collectors around the world. These ultra-valuable coins don't look shiny, new, or perfect. In fact, many of them are ugly, worn, corroded, and dirty, yet they hide shocking mistakes made at the U.S. Mint that turn them into life-changing treasures. You're digging through an old jar of dirty coins, dusty, dark, forgotten for decades. You pull out what looks like a regular 1965 Washington quarter. Old, worn, and completely filthy. You think it's worth 25 cents, right? Well, what if I told you that same old, dirty, ugly-looking quarter could be worth $200,000? And in the rarest cases, collectors estimate potential values climbing into the millions of dollars. A simple 1965 quarter, the kind you see every day, could secretly be one of the most expensive error coins in U.S. history. Today's video will take you deep into the dirty, shocking world of the 1965 error Washington quarter, how it was created, why it is so unbelievably rare, and the exact details collectors look for that transform a coin from pocket change into life-changing money. To understand why 1965 quarters can be worth huge money, we need to rewind to one of the most dramatic periods in U.S. coin history, the Great Silver Shortage of the 1960s. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver, but by 1964, silver prices began skyrocketing, and people started hoarding every silver coin they could find. Banks were drained, circulation collapsed, and the U.S. Mint was in crisis mode. When it comes to error coins, condition is important, but not everything. That a 1965 quarter on a silver planchet is so rare that even a dirty, scratched, worn example can still be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors don't just look at beauty, they look at rarity and significance. A 1965 quarter that was never meant to exist. A coin struck in the wrong metal during a historic transition. That's the kind of treasure collectors would fight over. Even an old, ugly, dirty example could be the coin that changes your life. Let's break down the most valuable 1965 quarter varieties, including the ones that can reach 6- or 7-figure values. Police Scarlet, 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet, Holy Grail. One sold for $7,050, circulated and dirty. Another sold for $12,000. A high-grade example sold for $83,000. Annaled experts estimate that a flawless example could reach $250,000 to $350,000. Some numismatists even believe an undiscovered finest known specimen could hit over $1. This single coin is enough to create headlines in the coin world. 1965 transitional errors. Copper planchet, wrong planchet, other strikes. While the silver strike is the most famous, other rare 1965 errors are worth thousands too. 1965 quarter struck on a 1-cent, copper, planchet value, $5,000 to $15,000. 1965 quarter struck on a 5 cents, nickel, planchet value, $3,000 to $6,000. 1965 off-center quarter value, $300 to $2,000 depending on percent off. Center 1965 double die errors value, $50 to $5,000. A very strong DDO could be worth far more. 1965 wrong. Metal transitional errors not yet discovered. Collectors believe unseen varieties could easily reach $50,000 to $500,000, and in extreme cases even closer to $1 million. That the value is in the error, not the condition. A dirty, damaged silver error will still sell for big money. Even an extremely worn example could fetch $5,000 or more. So don't ignore that ugly 1965 quarter. It may be hiding history under the dirt. How you can check your old 1965 quarters: use a digital scale. If it weighs 6.25 grams, you might have the silver rarity. Solid white equals possibly silver. Copper stripe equals regular. Clad. Tap it lightly on a table or with another coin. Silver stays gray-white even when dirty. Check for off-center strikes or odd shapes. Use a strong light. Look for doubling, incorrect metal color, or misstrikes. If unsure, never clean the coin. Cleaning can damage value. Leave the dirt. It's part of its story. Suddenly, you wipe one, and staring back at you is a 1982 Washington quarter. A normal person might shrug and toss it aside. But you, A smart collector knows something shocking, because 1982 is one of the most important and most chaotic years in U.S. coin minting history, and the rarest 1982 P quarters carry secrets that can change the value of a simple pocket coin into a life-changing treasure. So stay with me till the end, because I'm about to reveal white heavy checkmark the rare errors that make a 1982 P quarter extremely valuable. White heavy checkmark real auction results worth hundreds to thousands. White heavy checkmark why dirty, old, damaged looking 1982 coins might still be worth a fortune. White heavy checkmark the hidden history behind the 1982 P minting crisis. White heavy checkmark and the most valuable 1982 P error quarter you should look for right now. To understand why 1982 quarters are so rare and valuable today, you must go back to the economic chaos of the early 1980s. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made one of its biggest decisions. Coins were struck with weaker dies. More coins left the mint with major defects. Extra errors were produced in large batches. Philadelphia P mint mark was the most affected because there were no official mint sets. Collectors did not preserve perfect 1982 quarters. High-grade 1982 P coins are extremely rare. Error coins from this year are even rarer and highly valuable. This is exactly why even an old, dirty, or worn 1982 P quarter can still be worth a huge amount of money. Even though 1982 quarters are made of copper nickel, not silver, they can still be worth hundreds or thousands. The biggest reason? Some of these are so extreme that they've sold for four-figure prices, and the most dramatic examples could reach five figures. In a perfect storm, a unique discovery could even reach top rare 1982 P quarters worth. Look for now. Let's break down the most valuable versions of this coin. This is what your viewers want. 1982 P quarter struck on wrong planchet, copper penny planchet. This is one of the most valuable errors of the year. A quarter struck on a penny planchet weighs only. Circulated $1,000 to $5,000. High grade $10,000 to $25,000. Unique specimens possibly $50,000 plus. A dirty, old one could still be worth thousands if the weight matches. 1982 P quarter missing clad layer. These are extremely dramatic errors. Half of the coin appears copper. Collectors love these. Perfect examples. $5,000 plus. Even in dirty or circulated condition, these coins sell for huge money. 1982 P quarter double die DDO/DDR. These are some of the most desirable errors in the coin world. Perfect, dramatic doubling. $5,000 to $20,000. A new, undiscovered dramatic double die could be worth $50,000 to $100,000 or more in a major auction. 1982 P quarter multi-strike/double strike error. These are some of the most shocking coins visually. Triple strike or extreme strike through. $5,000 to $15,000. Old dirty multi-strikes can still sell for thousands. 1982 P quarter struck on foreign coin planchet. These are extremely rare and highly valuable. $5,000 to $12,500. Perfect specimens. $20,000 plus. If you ever find an odd-looking, off-weight, off-color 1982 P quarter 1982 P quarter mint state high-grade rare MS68, the Holy Grail could sell for $10,000 to $30,000 plus. Higher, a new MS69 discovery could theoretically reach backhand index pointing right $100,000 to $250,000. The most valuable 1982 P quarter ever found. Collectors believe the most expensive 1982 P quarter was a major off-metal error, valued over backhand index pointing right $10,000 to $20,000 depending on its condition, but experts agree a newly discovered extreme 1982 P error, such as double struck on wrong planchet, struck on pure copper, struck on foreign coin, dramatic double die missing both clad layers, could easily sell for money bag $50,000 to $250,000, and in the highest grade possible backhand index pointing right, it could theoretically reach $1 million plus if it's unique, dramatic, and historically important. Warning: how to check your 1982 P quarter weight test. Use a digital scale. Normal 5.67 Girong planchet 2G. For G visual errors, look for missing layer, off center, double strike, dramatic cracks / cud, strange metal color, broad strike, doubling. Inspect date, liberty and God we to edge. Check. Look for Copper exposed full silver-looking edge, error, broken or clipped edge. The 1982 P quarter is one of the most exciting modern era coins ever minted, and one of the easiest coins to find in old boxes, drawers, and pocket change. You pick up a filthy, worn-out 1967 Washington quarter. It looks worthless, something you'd ignore without even thinking. But what if I told you that this same old, dirty, unattractive 1967 quarter could secretly be worth hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, or even over $1 million? A 1967 quarter that looks like trash could actually be one of the most valuable era coins ever minted in the post-silver era. Collectors all over the world are hunting these quarters, especially rare 1967 era varieties that slipped through the mint during one of the most chaotic production years in American history. Stay with me until the end of this video because today we're diving deep into the shocking history, the extreme era varieties, and the life-changing values of the rarest 1967 quarters. And trust me, history behind the 1967 quarter. The year 1967 was a transition period that changed the world of American coins forever. To understand the value of rare 1967 quarters, you need to know what happened in the years before. In 1965, the U.S. Mint removed silver from dimes and quarters due to a nationwide silver shortage. People were hoarding silver coins, and the Mint was struggling to supply enough change for daily circulation. This chaos created some of the most unexpected, shocking, and extremely rare coin errors known today, and many of them are hidden inside ordinary-looking dirty 1967 quarters. Unlike modern coins produced by machines with laser precision, the 1960s were imperfect, and those imperfections created treasures worth thousands. Why old and dirty 1967 quarters can be worth a fortune. Most people think only shiny, mint-state coins are valuable, but when it comes to error coins, condition is not the main factor. The type of error is what makes a coin valuable. This means a coin can be dirty, scratched, heavily circulated, worn down, almost unrecognizable, but if it has the right error, it can still be worth big money. To beat up dirty 1967 quarter with a major mint error can easily sell for $2,000, $10,000, $25,000, and in extremely rare cases over $100,000. Now let's break down the most rare and most valuable 1967 quarters, the ones that make collectors go crazy. These are the error types that can turn a dirty, ugly 25-cent coin into a life-changing treasure. 1967 quarter struck on silver planchet. Holy Grail. This error is extremely rare, and only very few verified examples exist. Dirty, worn example, $5,000 to $15,000. Mid-grade example, $20,000 to $45,000. High-grade example, $75,000 to $120,000. Perfect or finest known specimen, $250,000, $500,000, and possibly over $1. And this coin should not exist. That it's a full-blown mint blunder from a chaotic era that struck on a wrong planchet. These transitional errors occur when the mint mistakenly uses a metal blank intended for another denomination. These are extremely valuable. This happened often in the 1960s. The mint was striking coins for foreign countries and mix-ups occurred. Some of these errors are still undiscovered. A 1967 quarter struck on a foreign planchet could be worth $10,000, $25,000, even up to $75,000. 1967 off-center quarter errors. Off-center strikes happen when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the dies. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin. Missing date but massive off-center. $4,000 plus. Because mint marks were removed. During 1967, date visibility is extremely important. In rare point 1967 double die errors, DDO/DDR, extreme doubling, very rare $10,000 plus. A strong DDO or DDR discovery in high grade could easily reach $20,000 to $40,000. Unconfirmed but possible $1 million errors because the mint was chaotic in 1967. Experts believe these extremely rare errors may exist, but are still undiscovered. 1967 silver clad transitional error. 1967 quarter struck on 40% silver planchet. 1967 quarter struck on experimental metal blank. 1967 quarter double denomination error, like struck over a cent coin. If any of these are found in the future, their values could explode to $250,000, $500, $500, or even into the millions. This is why collectors inspect every 1967 quarter carefully, especially dirty or odd-looking ones. How you can check your 1967 quarters at home: silver, 6.25 grams nickel planchet, 5G copper cent planchet, 3.11 G regular clad, 5.67 G. Examine the edge: silver equals solid white, clad equals copper stripe. Look for off-center strikes, even small ones are valuable. Look for doubling under light. Use a flashlight and tilt slowly. Avoid cleaning it. Collectors want natural dirt, not clean metal. If you suspect a valuable error, get it authenticated. PCGS or NGC grading can increase value dramatically. 1983 is one of the most important and most valuable years in modern U.S. quarter history because certain rare errors from this year, even old and dirty ones, can sell for tens of thousands and, in some hypothetical perfect situations, money bag even millions of dollars if you discover a new, unique, dramatic mint error no one has ever seen before. This one year, 1983, produced some of the most dramatic, shocking, and collectible quarters ever struck. So stay with me to the end, because I'm about to reveal white heavy checkmark why the 1983 P quarter is so rare. White heavy checkmark, the biggest errors worth thousands. White heavy checkmark, real auction prices. White heavy checkmark, why old and dirty quarters from this year can be extremely valuable. White heavy checkmark, and the number one most expensive 1983 P quarter ever recorded. To understand the true value of this coin, you must know the story behind its creation. The early 1980s were difficult times. The economy was unstable, inflation was high, metal prices were unpredictable, collectors were confused. The U.S. Mint was under pressure, and then the U.S. Mint made a decision that changed everything. No high-quality coins were intentionally preserved. No perfect specimens were saved for collectors. Most coins entered circulation immediately. Many were damaged, scratched, or worn fast. So today, high-grade 1983 P quarters are extremely rare. Quality control problems because of budget cuts during the early 80s. Dies were reused too long, machines were worn out, planchets were poorly prepared, mint workers were rushed, errors increased dramatically. This created one of the largest waves of error coins in modern history. And the 1983 P quarter sits right at the center of this storm. Why 1983 P quarters are worth big money? They're hard to find in high grade. They have dramatic, valuable mint errors. They were never saved in mint sets. Old, dirty, worn coins can still be worth thousands. Now, let's go deep into the errors and values you must look for. Top rare 1983 P quarter errors worth thousands. These are the errors that can turn an old, dirty 25-cent coin into a life-changing treasure. 1983 P quarter, double die, DDO/DDR, major double die, $1,000 to $5,000, extremely dramatic, perfect doubling. Backhand index pointing right, $10,000 to $50,000. If a new major double die is discovered, backhand index pointing right could be worth $100,000 to $500,000. Backhand index pointing right. And if completely unique, theoretically $1 million plus. 1983 P quarter, spitting eagle error, one of the most famous and collectible 1983 errors. A die crack creates the look of a spit line coming from the eagle's beak. Top grade MS66/MS67, $1,000 to $3,000. This is known and loved worldwide. 1983 P quarter, OFF center ester if the date is visible, plus 50% bonus value. A perfect 60 to 70% off center. 1983 P quarter could bring $3,000 to $5,000. 1983 P quarter, missing clad L, one of the most dramatic mint errors possible. When the outer nickel layer is missing, the coin looks copper-colored. High-grade, full missing layer, $3,000 to $7,500. 1983 P quarter, wrong planchet estar. These are extremely rare and extremely valuable. The off-metal dramatic example, $5,000 to $12,000. Perfect wrong. Planchet strike. Backhand index pointing right, $15,000 to $25,000. A new discovery could go for $50,000 to $100,000 plus. 1983 P quarter, broadstrike/NO rim error, very collectible error where the coin expands without a collar. Perfect broadstrike, $500 to $1,000. 1983 P quarter, multiple strikes, triple strike, $5,000 to $10,000. Perfect multiple strike. Backhand index pointing right, $15,000 to $25,000 plus. A never-seen-before dramatic multi-strike could be a six-figure coin. Highest graded regular, 1983. P quarters because no mint sets were made. High-grade regular coins are rare. MS68. $10,000 to $20,000. If a MS69 1983 P quarter is discovered, that would be a world record modern quarter and could reach $100,000 to $250,000 or more depending on auction demand. The most valuable 1983 P quarter ever found. The most valuable confirmed 1983 P error is believed to be a large orange diamond major off-metal wrong planchet strike plus double strike error. Auction values reached. Backhand index pointing right, $15,000 to $20,000 plus. A new discovery, such as a massive double die, a pure copper transitional error, or a foreign wrong planchet multi-strike, could easily reach money bag $50,000, $100,000 money bag, $250,000 for a museum-level specimen money bag, and theoretically $1,000,000 plus if the error is unique in U.S. Mint history. Warning. How to check your 1983 P quarter. The reverse. For spitting eagle, look for the die crack under the beak. Date doubling. Check 1983 Liberty, and in God we trust. Weight. Normal. 5.67 Girong planchet. 2 to 4G or 4.5 to 5G edge. Is the copper core showing? Is a layer missing? Shape and strike. Is it off-center? Broadstruck? Double struck? You're digging through an old tin box of coins hidden in your house for years. Beat up 1973 Washington quarter, the kind you would normally ignore or throw back. That same old 1973 quarter, that ugly coin with scratches, rust-like stains, and years of wear, could secretly be worth tens of thousands. Or, in extremely rare cases, yes, a 1973 quarter, often overlooked and forgotten, could be hiding one of the most insane, valuable, and shocking mint errors ever discovered. Collectors are obsessed with 1,973 quarters because of a series of unexpected minting mistakes. Experimental planchets and rare varieties created during one of the U.S. Mint's most chaotic production periods. Stay with me until the end, because after you hear the truth about the rarest 1973 quarters, you will check every single 1973 coin you own, and who knows, you may already be holding a life-changing treasure. To understand why 1973 quarters can be extremely valuable, we must go back to the early 1970s, a very intense time for the U.S. Mint. The Bicentennial coin program was being prepared for 1976, and pressure was building inside the mint. By 1971, the last traces of silver in circulating coins ended. Only clad metal remained. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were all mass-producing billions of coins, foreign planchets, leftover metals, and testing blanks often entered production by mistake. Here we break down the rarest, most expensive, and most shocking 1973 quarter errors ever discovered, and some that experts believe may still be hidden today. 1973 quarter struck on silver planchet, Holy Grail error. This is one of the most valuable modern U.S. quarter errors. Mid-grade, $15,000, $35,000. High-grade, $50,000, $75,000. Finest known example, $100,000 to $250,000. Possible perfect specimen, $500,000 to $1 million plus. 1973 double denomination error. These extremely rare errors can fetch money bag $10,000 to $50,000 plus. And the most dramatic ones can exceed $75,000 to $250,000. 1973 quarter on a nickel planchet, $3,000 to $8,000. Heavy checkmark 1973 quarter on a penny planchet, $5,000 to $12,000. 1973 quarter on a foreign planchet. The U.S. Mint produced coins for over 20 countries in the early 1970s. These errors can be worth $10,000 to $30,000 plus. 1973 off-center strike. Extremely valuable in large shifts. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable. 80% plus off-center, $5,000 to $10,000. If the date is missing but the error is dramatic, over $15,000 is possible. Major double die, DDO/DDR. 1973 quarters. These doubling errors can increase in value depending on the strength. Extreme doubling, rare $10,000 to $30,000 plus. Partial collar and broadstrike errors. These occur when the collar die fails and the coin expands unnaturally. Broadstrikes combined with other errors can exceed $10,000. Possible undiscovered $1,000,000 errors. If any of these surface, they could easily break records. Money bag $250,000 to $500,000 to even $1 million plus. This is why every 1973 quarter, especially dirty or weird-looking ones, should be checked. How you can check your old 1973 quarters at home. Weigh the coin. Silver, 6.25 grams clad, 5.67 grams copper penny planchet, 3.11 grams nickel planchet, 5 or 5.1 grams. Check the edge. Silver equals solid, white clad equals copper stripe. Inspect for off-center strikes. Look for doubling under light. Never clean the coin. Dirt is fine. Cleaning destroys value. If you think it's rare, send for grading. PCGS or NGC can confirm authenticity. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe searching through pocket change, or maybe you found a dusty old jar of coins in your grandfather's cupboard. Suddenly, your fingers stop. You pull out a dirty, brown, old-looking 1979 D Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks worthless, maybe just another old coin. But what if I told you that this same old, dirty 1979 D quarter in your hand could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on rare errors hidden on its surface? But inside that dirty layer of grime could be a life-changing discovery. So in this video, I'm going to take you deep into the world of the 1979 D Washington quarter, its history, its secret minting story, its rarest error types, and the unbelievable auction prices that have shocked collectors around the world. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you the rarest 1979 D error ever discovered, what it looks like, how to spot it, and why even an old dirty one could be worth big, big money. The Washington quarter has been part of American history since 1932, created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. But by 1979, the U.S. Mint was in a very different era. Most people think only shiny coins are valuable, but in reality, many rare errors are found on coins that circulated for years. Dirt and grime can hide extremely valuable details. An old, brown, stained quarter could secretly hold a major minting flaw. Collectors love error coins because errors are heavy checkmark, one-of-a-kind, heavy checkmark, rare, heavy checkmark, historically significant, heavy checkmark, visually shocking, heavy checkmark, and extremely valuable. Even an ugly, dirty error can sell for thousands. And the 1979 D quarter has produced some of the most dramatic errors of the late 1970s. 1979 D off-center strike, up to $10,000 plus. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank isn't placed correctly between the dies. Major 70% off-center with date visible, $10,000 plus. If the date and D mint mark are both visible on an extreme off-center strike, the coin becomes ultra-rare. 1979 D double die obverse. Some collectors estimate the strongest potential DDO could cross $20,000 to $30,000. 1979 D double die reverse, DDR, up to $10,000 plus. 1979 D wrong planchet error, $15,000 to $50,000 plus. 1979 D clipped planchet error, up to $2,000 plus. A clipped planchet means a chunk of the coin is missing. If the clip shows the famous bow tie Blakesley effect, values increase dramatically. 1979 D broadstrike error, $200 to $1,000 plus. The coin spreads out wider than normal. Dirty broadstrikes still get excellent value because the stretching is clearly visible. 1979 D full brockage, up to $20,000 plus. This is one of the holy grails of mint errors. A brockage happens when a coin is struck on top of another coin and creates a mirror image. 1979 D multiple errors on one coin, up to MIS. Rare multiple error coins have sold in the high six-figure range. Experts believe that a hypothetical triple error or quadruple error 1979 D could cross $1 million. How to check your old dirty 1979 D quarter. Don't clean the sewing. Cleaning destroys value. Collectors want original surfaces, even if dirty. Check the mint mark, D. Look for Normal D-tilted, D-filled, D-misplaced, Danny unusual mint mark could be valuable. Check for doubling use a magnifying glass or phone zoom to inspect. Liberty and God we test to the date Washington's I and lips reverse lettering. Check the shape of the coin. Ask yourself, is it centered? Is it stretched? Is it clipped? Is there a missing chunk? Is it thicker or thinner? Any weird shape equals error equals money. Weigh the coin. Normal weight 5.67 grams if yours weighs too heavy, too light, too thin, too thick. You may have a wrong planchet or a missing clad layer worth thousands. Biggest 1979 D auction sales 1979 D wrong planchet quarter sold $4.23 500 1979 D off center major error sold $4.08 400 1979 D DDO/DDR hybrid estimated over $15 000 1979 D broadstrike plus clipped plus die crack combo over $7 000. Collectors love this year because Denver's production speed resulted in numerous dramatic errors. This is a coin where the metal was not standard, the surface was unusual, weight was abnormal, color was different, possibly meant for foreign production. $50 000 to $150 000 plus. And some experts say a perfect specimen could hit $500,000 or even $1 million if auctioned today. That if you found one dirty in a box, you'd be holding a treasure. Imagine this. You're digging through old change, maybe cleaning out your car, searching through a dusty cupboard, or opening a forgotten jar of coins in your grandfather's house. Suddenly, a dirty, brownish, old 1981 P quarter slips into your hand, but hidden in the grime, dents, darkness, or wear marks might be a life-changing error that collectors dream about. So in today's video, I'm taking you deep into the history, the rarest errors, the highest auction prices, and how even a dirty 1981 P quarter can turn into a fortune. Stay till the end, because the final error I'm going to reveal is so unbelievably rare that experts believe a perfect specimen could easily cross $500,000 to even $1 million. The Washington Quarter Series, launched in 1932, has gone through many designs, metals, and minting eras. But the year 1981 was especially interesting for the U.S. Mint, particularly the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1981 P quarter. High-speed coin production, machine pressure, increased demand for circulating coins, heavy die usage. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 601 million 1981 P quarters. That's more than enough coins to fill entire warehouses. But mass production comes with a price, because the 1981 P quarter became one of the most error-rich years of late 20th century U.S. coin production. These mistakes created some of today's most valuable error coins, especially those discovered in old, dirty circulation condition. People often think shiny coins are valuable, but collectors love old, dirty ones because most rare errors circulated for years. Dirt hides the true details. Rare flaws show up better under grime. Old damage helps authenticate older errors. Unique coins never look perfected. Dirty 1981 P quarter might still hide a double die, a mistrike, a missing clad layer, a wrong planchet, a brockage, major off-center strike, or a multi-error combination worth serious money. Some of the rarest 1981 errors ever found were discovered on heavy checkmark. Let's break down the most powerful, most valuable, and most shocking errors found on 1981 P quarters. 1981 P off-center strike, worth $200 to $10 000 plus. Collectors pay huge money for visible date plus mint mark. Dirty condition does not reduce its value. 1981 P double die obverse DDO, up to $15 000 plus. These are incredibly rare because Philadelphia used many dies that wore down quickly, creating inconsistent impressions. 1981 P double die reverse DDR, up to $12 000 plus. 1981 P wrong planchet error, $10,000 to $75 000 plus. This happens when a quarter is struck on the wrong metal. Missing clad layer error, $1,000 to $10 000 plus. This happens when one side or both sides are missing the nickel coating. These coins look copper color, dirty, brown, orange, tinted, uneven tone. This is one of the most dramatic errors for 1981. Broadstrike error, $150 to $1, 500 plus. If the collar fails, the coin spreads wider and flatter. Double struck error, $2,000 to $20 000 plus. Big money, especially if the second strike is rotated. Full blockage error, up to $25,000 plus. This is extremely rare. A blockage shows a deep mirror-like ghost image of the other side of a coin. A blockage on an older, dirty 1981 P quarter would be a collector dream. Multiple errors, mega error combo. Up 2 million sa single 1981 P quarter could theoretically have. Experts agree this could be a six-figure, even seven-figure discovery. Yes, some combinations could hit $1 million plus at auction. How to check your 1981 P quarter for rare errors. Though not clean, the sign cleaning removes original metal. Cleaning destroys value by 50–90%. Cleaning ruins authentication. Even dirty coins can be worth thousands. Inspect the obverse. Look for doubling around LR to Y. Thick letters shadow behind Washington's profile. Double date. Inspect the reverse check. Eagle wings, arrows, olive leaves, United States of America text, $quarter text. Look for doubling, spreading, misalignment, rotation. Check the edges. The edge can reveal missing clad layer. Wrong planchet. Metal clipped planchets. Warped planchets. Overstrikes. Staying normal weight 5.67 grams if yours weighs under 5 grams. Wrong/foreign planchet. Over 6 grams. Wrong planchet or metal lump. 4–5 grams. Struck on dime planchet. These are worth massive money. Money bag 1981 P Washington quarter struck on an experimental planchet. This is a coin where metal composition is unidentified, color is abnormal, weight is incorrect, metallic rings sound different. Dies were not meant for this. Metal surface texture is unique. $75,000 to $150,000 plus. If a perfect example shows up in the future, experts believe it could cross $500,000 to $1,000,000 plus. This coin alone could change someone's life.